Hello and welcome to Saving Miller. Well, folks, today I'm finally going to answer the question that's been burning in your mind. What is Saving Miller? So, the answer is actually fairly complex. Saving Miller was really birthed from over 10 years of learning and experiences with a wide variety of things. Living in 4 different cities in 3 different states really taught us a lot. So let's identify what Saving Miller is as you know it today, and we'll take a look at where we're going. For my entire life, I've been curious about how things work and how to do things a better way. And in large part, this is the curiosity that led me to build a coffee roaster and various other projects. So, Saving Miller is maybe the grandest iteration yet, and it really encompasses the experiences that we've had already and the knowledge and skills that we've gathered to date, and gives it the opportunity to morph into something bigger and better. So here's the story. In 2016, my darling and I moved to California. We found a house in a small, sleepy city, and it was a small, sad house that needed care, a lot of care. So we jumped into it right away, and then in 2017, the mini farmer arrived. And so, as we considered, the environment that she was experiencing, and really thought about how we wanted her to be able to interact with nature and with the the world around her. We really wanted to give her the best opportunity to understand reality, understand how things really are and how they work. So along the way, we became associated with Underwood Farms in Moore Park, California, and we really gathered a lot of very interesting knowledge from them and ate a lot of good vegetables. So please do support them if you get the chance. They're good people, and it really sparked my curiosity. So I started doing a lot of research and looking into modern agricultural practices, and then looking into that kind of led to sustainable farming and the homesteading movement in the U.S. And so, you know, in LA as well as in most other urban centers, there's kind of a stark contrast between nature and our food supply. And typically the approach is to hide as much of that as possible and to obscure it and package everything nicely. And so that's kind of odd to me. Why are we hiding nature? Food is one of the most important things that we do every single day. So why would someone think that we can take soy um, and grind it up, and process it, add a bunch of chemicals in a big factory, and develop it into a patty and call that a hamburger? Or take a handful of almonds, a very small handful of almonds, puree them, add some chalk, some emulsifiers, different things, and a bunch of water, and then call that milk? That's just ridiculous, really. And it's a highly processed food, and a lot of times there's not a lot of integrity in what goes into that. And so I thought, well, there has to be a better way. Why would someone prefer highly processed foods over something that's natural, healthy, and sustainable? And I think it really has to do with a lack of knowledge, and not understanding what the complex global food supply chain looks like and what maybe some of the realities are of that. And so we wanted to give ourselves and our family a much better way, so that we're not suckered into believing the packaging and marketing that we're fed at the grocery store as to what good food is. And so last year I started brewing my own beer, and really enjoyed that. I had resisted for a long time because I thought, well, other people just make really good stuff. Why would I bother myself? But I discovered I could make um, beer that I enjoyed a lot, and so I decided to do it myself. Now, I was acutely aware of the association that my family name would have with beer, and so that really kind of led to the development of the name initially. So I wanted to solve this dilemma by moving to the country, raising our own food, brewing our own beer, and being as self sufficient as possible. So if we can show people maybe a better way to live and to eat through our journey, then perhaps we can benefit from that by showing you what we're doing. Um, that really is how Saving Miller was born. And so, step one, we sold our house in California. Step two, we found a new property and have been working diligently to get the home ready. And now, in step three, we are beginning to build the farm and get it ready for the fall planting season here. So, we are trying to be realistic. It's going to take a very long time to mature into this vision. Trees don't grow that quickly. But, I mean, we're on our way. And growing our own food and reducing our reliance on modern agriculture, on global transportation, and modern technology is really one of the big goals. But, I mean, it's never going to be perfect. We're not homesteaders by definition. We're certainly not off the grid, but we are trying to take a holistic approach to to have as healthy a lifestyle as we can in a reasonable way. We're not fanatics by any means. We're not that crazy. I mean, we try to be um, down to earth, but also realistic. And hopefully, this will benefit future generations by educating them and nourishing them. So I don't think it's necessarily realistic to think that the small scale homestead approach is going to feed the world. In some applications, the way that um, Joel Salatin uses sustainable practices, I think it can be very effective, and the principles are absolutely correct and appropriate. But I don't know if there's sufficient resources to do that on a global scale or not. Maybe there are. But really following the principles is what we need to do. So instead of using chemicals to kill all the microbes in the soil, we need to harness them and nurture them so that they can help us produce nutrient-rich food. And that's the direction we want to take Saving Miller. We want to use sustainable um, and chemical-free gardening and farming practices that will allow us to produce nutrient-rich food and do that indefinitely. So keep in mind, Saving Miller is about our family and our journey, and we're sharing it with you, but we aren't trying to save the world, only Miller. However, I really hope that it can benefit you and the community that we're in, especially the people that can actually benefit from the farm. So this is Saving Miller. Welcome.